We have to help Syria at least to alleviate the suffering of the civilian population. We discovered a beautiful way called reconciliation toward or through forgiveness. And for this, we founded the International Support Team for Musalaha in Syria. Musalaha means reconciliation. Why? In 2012, the beginning of the year, more than 1,000 personalities like tribal leader, family leaders, spiritual leaders, they gathered. And facing the situation, the ongoing situation, they made an oath that they will never adopt violence one against each other. Because the temptation would have been to take arms and to begin a civil war. But they said, we want to enter into a reconciliation dynamic. Instead of building walls, we want to tear down walls and build bridges. And I will give you one example of this extraordinary position among the Syrian population. It is the story of Abu Fayyad. Here is Abu Fayyad. You see this arrow. We were in Homs in June 2013. The Reconciliation Committee to negotiate an agreement for the neighborhood of Al-Wa'ad. It is the biggest rebel neighborhood in Syria. 700,000 people coming from Baba Amro and from Khalidiyya live in Al-Wa'ad today, and they have their own fighters. They accept the infiltration of Al-Qaeda, and there is if you want, a hidden war ongoing with the surrounding villages that are Shia or Alawite villages. So they decided to make peace, of course, through the reconciliation committees. So you have here Shia clerics, Sunni clerics, Alawite clerics, people from the government, the Imam of Jabhat al-Nusra, and one of the leaders of the Free Syrian Army, together with reconciliation members. We worked the whole day, but there was no food. At the end of the day, tension, everybody was shouting against everybody. This man called Abu Fayyad, he raised his hand and he said, please, I want to tell you something. He said, I want to give you my story. He said, I have a son. He is only son. I don't have any other one. Fayyad has 20 years old. He's 20 years old. And he is universitarian. One day he was abducted. We could not find him. After 6-7 months, we had a telephone call. Tomorrow Fayyad is coming back. So we prepared sweets, we prepared flowers, we brought the relatives. It was good, big ceremony. He was coming back. And in the morning, a car passed very quickly. And we heard a big shock. We opened the door, and there was a plastic bag. And inside the plastic bag, there was Fayyad, horribly tortured and cut in pieces. You see, Abu Fayyad said, there is no motivation for this crime. Why did they do like this with my boy? And he said, if I kill now 1,000 people, I will not be alleviated. I would have this reason, but it won't alleviate me. So I decided with my wife to forgive. Please, brothers and sisters, forgive one to another for the sake of Syria. You see, this is the message that we would like to bring to all parties today in Syria. But this message that is spiritual, that is social, civilian, that is experimental, and that is transcendental, is a problem for the politics. It cannot be accepted by politics. And we are persecuted because we deliver this message. You have people, they would like that this ongoing violence continue until they achieve some goal. We say that any goal is not worthy if you have to destroy a whole country and to kill like this human being on a methodic and systematic way. So the message of Musalaha is our daily burden, and we have been carrying it all over the world. First of all, Mrs. Mariam Maguire, the famous Peace Nobel Prize laureate, supported Musalaha as soon as she got informed about. She invited me to Belfast, and we made many plans to bring worldwide such a message. And we were invited 4 times to Geneva, to the United Nations Human Rights Council, where we gave many conferences to highlight the possibility of a third way in Syria. Also in Damascus, we could meet very often with the tribe leaders and with many civilian people to try to alleviate the calvary of the civilian population. Mrs. Carla Del Ponte, we contact her very often, and we really praise her courage to have stigmatized the chemical attack in Khan al-Asr. So we talk with everybody, of course with Free Syrian Army, with journalists, with reporters. We are called everywhere to give this beautiful witnessing of this spiritual reality in Syria. One of the peak moments was the visit of Mariam Maguire with 16 peace activists to Lebanon and Syria in May 2013. They visited prelates, ministers, opposition, neighborhoods, and strongholds. And if you want, my tour to United States is the fruit of this visit, because Paul Larudi and Amir Massoumi, peace activists both in United States and Canada, invited me to carry this message to Northern America. Many personalities support reconciliation in Syria, our patriarchs. Here we are in Bucharest. You see Mr. Shas, the leader of Al-Nahda, Tunisia, and Mr. Senura, our Mufti in Syria. Even Sharon Stone, the Dalai Lama, Lech Walesa, Muhammad. Well, we hope that one day we will plant the tree of peace in the middle of Damascus, when the peace will come back to this completely torn apart country. Thank you very much for your listening, and now I am ready for your questions. No, I began to say that I will not repeat what the mainstream media, the point of view of one part of the scene. I will not repeat it, I will not deny it, okay? But of course I always ask that a good inquiry will be running because many things have been a hoax, like the names of the children in Daraa. When we went to Geneva, we brought with us the family of one person that is in the family of the children, and we gave evidences that it was a hoax. It's true that the government has perpetrated many repression, but this will not take out the reality of infiltration inside Syria of more than 150,000 foreign fighters that are, bringing more oppression and more death than what the government is doing. And in all cases, the civilian population is the one who is paying from both sides. That's why you have the internal opposition that is claiming to be non-violent and not to accept foreign intervention inside Syria. We are with this internal opposition, but we lament that this internal opposition is not heard and always put in a corner and ignored by the mainstream, by the superpower.
Revisionist history shows us that Christians stood for truth. If the Antiochian Orthodox Archbishop Metropolitan Philip, for example, was kidnapped, or nuns were kidnapped, the FBI, CIA, and others would not accept such a tragedy. When and how will we as American Arabs take action? We have sat and prayed for the release of the two archbishops. Prayer is an utmost must, but what actions will be taken? The time has come to take action.
Well, we lament that everything today is known. We see it maybe on live stream in the media, how those nuns are abducted, and they are obliged to say that everything is okay with them. And our bishops are still disappeared. This is a scandal. And we really put the responsibility not only on the abductors. The abductors are only obeying to orders. They are obeying to orders. We really would like to address the international community. How is it possible to give such orders? How is it possible to give order to spoil a village like Ma'lula? How is it possible to enter in a village like Sadad? Sadad is an opponent village. They are not with the government. And in Los Angeles, you have the people of Fayrouzi. They pay for the rebels, to keep them very sympathetic with Sadat. And so Sadat was invaded out of any conflict. There is no reason for Sadat to be invaded. And they killed 42 people. They behead them. So, and there is nothing, no denial. The UN, the Majlis al-Aman will not gather for normal Syrian citizens, but it will gather when it comes into political interest. This is, a terrible fate. But we think that we have to talk. We have to talk. The Pope has to. We are happy that now Pope Francis is talking. He was the first to underline what happened to our nuns. Okay, it's good, and we have to talk. You have to talk with your congressmen, with your senators. Talk. Don't be afraid to talk.
Some of the questions were in Arabic, so thank you, Father Michael. He's translating them. We see you talking about, this was one of them, we see you talking about politics while you are a nun. Why? How did you get the photos and videos you showed us?
I think that anything going on on a social level has to interpel us, nous interpeller. It questions us. And Jesus said, because you are neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you. As Christians, if we are witnessing something, we cannot keep silent. I am not Syrian, but I consider myself as a witness, and I brought to you what I have seen. I have collected some things that are a direct witnessing. This man from Nebek, who was thrown from his window, we know him. I brought to you things that I know. In Homs, I was there. It was myself seeing with my eyes, and the camera was just recording. This is not politics. This is not politics. This is a testimony. It is a witness. And if I shut up, I will be in complicity with those murderers. If you are witnessing something and you shut up, you are accomplice. And it is not politics. So, yes. So that's how I get those photos that I am showing to you. If there is something that I am ready to consider, but in the whole apparatus, of the mainstream media presenting to the world always the same food, allow one voice to say, to make a little balance on what is happening on the other side. Because those people, they need to have also a voice, that's all.
These two are similar. What role can international Catholic and Christian organizations play in supporting you? And the other one, what can the church in the USA do?
We would be, myself and my community, and Sister Carmen is here. We took many time to achieve this role, and our website points that we decided to follow as a community. So we think that the international Christian churches, they are more aware about injustice, because the gospel, he teaches us what is injustice, and the Bible teaches us what is injustice, and the Lord is always calling us to be witness and to work for justice. What is to love one each other if it is not justice? And how can I love someone and just let him to his fate, دبر راسك, and I will continue my life? You know, the Good Samaritan, it was a priest and a Levite, two clerics. They look at this man who was hurt in the street, and they continued their way because they have reasons. They have reasons. They are with a lot of theology, and they give to themselves good reasons. But the poor Samaritan, he had his heart, only his heart. And when he saw this man hurt, he didn't think. You know, we don't need thinking, we need heart. And so he came and he helped this man. We are asking all the Christians and all the spiritual people, every single human being, to just think, maybe what is happening to Syria will happen to me. You know, I have been to meet some big prelates. I can't tell you what I have seen. It is worse than the cleric of the Samaritan. They don't care. We cannot not care. We have to care. In the name of Christ, we have to care. And this is not politics, it is charity. And one day, I went to a cardinal